Hi everyone, this is Saket, this is Umesh, this is Mudit, and this is Prakar, and we are here to see why do advertisements use nudity.
So, guys, did you see that Ranveer Singh nude ad?
Oh, that nude one, was that really an ad?
Yeah, it was an ad for a not so famous luxury rug brand called Jaipur Rugs. They price it more than 1 lakh rupees.
You know, guys, on a serious note, I think it's very strange that brands go for such ads or advertise nudity in their ads. For example, in this case, like there is no connection here. And for me, I think it's just a marketing gimmick that brands employ to get more attention to their ad.
Yeah, I agree with you that it is just a marketing gimmick. I mean, so brands really deploy these types of ads to gain the interest of the customers, to gain the arousal of the customers, to grab their attention, right? So that's how they want to capture through peripheral cues, so that the customers do not require a lot of processing in their minds and they have a lot of time to process other things, right?
So ultimately, I think we can say that this is just for catching eyeballs, right? The nudity in the ads is just for so that the brand recall can be increased and more people see their advertisement. I think a very good example for that would be the PETA ad, where you see a nudity being used just for grabbing the attention of the people. Here, even the managers at the PETA have claimed that okay, nudity has nothing to do with their message as such, but just for so that more and more people take a look at their ad, so that the message could be forwarded to multiple people. And so basically, it's just for me, it's just a marketing gimmick, and I think brands should use some other things to, propagate their products as such.
But I do not totally agree with you. I know that some ads use nudity as a gimmick, but it is not so straightforward, black and white. Okay, so there is different degrees of nudity. In some cases, they use kind of full frontal nudity. Okay, for example, here two advertisements use full frontal nudity. Then there are cases where semi-nudity is used. So there is a control over that. Another factor is that what message you are trying to give. Some brands try to be bold. They try to give a bold message through their nude ad. Some brands try to tell their brand story with their ad. So it's not always a gimmick. It's a gimmick when the message you are trying to give has nothing to do with your brand story. But if there is a connection, then it's not a gimmick. For example, that Dove ad, right?
Oh yeah, I remember that Dove one. So Dove really didn't use the typical models we see in advertisements. So Dove historically has stood for that beauty does not have any standards. They do not testify that this body should be advertised or this shouldn't be. So as in this case, they used old women to portray that there is no one too old to be in the ad, right? So we can see this ad really fits in the brand perception. And this ad really got famous because this ad really has an ad. This ad really has an heart, and that's why it got successful.
Yeah. So Dove was trying to, in this ad, Dove was trying to kind of show that everybody can be beautiful. You don't have to be this model figure to be beautiful. And like when somebody sees themselves in the ad, they are more likely to buy the product, have higher brand recall, and more connect with the product. So here, nudity is not just a gimmick. They are kind of propagating a brand story.
That's interesting. So guys, I think a very important question that pops to my mind, and I think most of our listeners are also thinking the same thing. Why don't all brands use the nudity in ads to get better brand recall? As we have already established during our discussions that nudity increases brand recall and gets more attention from the consumers. So all brands, like even Colgate, while selling toothpaste, they can add nudity to their advertisement so that it gets more attention from the consumers.
So, Mudit raises a very good question, but I think we need to take a step back. So, I think we need to first understand how the customer processes the information that is presented to him. So, there are basically two types of processing. One is central processing and the other is peripheral. So, in the central processing, what happens is that you are given many information. There are hundreds of variables, and you try to solve that equation to come to a particular conclusion. So you try to solve that logic, right? So that is what is central processing. Whereas in peripheral process, what happens is that you are given the information, but that information you do not solve it, right? You try to form association with that information, and thereby through some cues, right? And there it is very much intuitive in case, right? So that's how the peripheral processing happens.
Yeah, very rightly mentioned by Pratha, right? So, from a point of view of advertisers, we need to know what our target segment wants, right? So, to explain this concept a bit more in depth, I will take an example of Wagner and Porsche. So, as you can see in the ad of Wagner, one can see the ad only mentions about the functional aspects, right? Whether or not the car has dual airbag or 60 to 40 split seats, right? So it only mentions about the functional aspects because it is what their consumers want. It's what their target segment wants. But when it comes to Porsche, a luxury brand, a luxury car, they don't tell you about the functionalities because someone who is going to buy a Porsche, they obviously know the Porsche is a safe car. It will provide me with all the functionalities. But what they try to do is sell dreams, right? So I think most of the luxury brands are on the same track of selling dreams, right?
So, looking at this, I think so Porsche is trying to sell dreams. So whenever we have seen those example of nudity in ads by luxury brands, they're also trying to create some kind of peripheral processing over there. So whenever there is nudity, it creates arousal. They quickly grab your attention, and that's when they provide whatever information they want to provide about the brand, whatever message they want to provide. So that's how they are using nudity in those ads.
Yeah, okay. So I think I get it now. Like for example, in FMCG brands like Colgate, they want you to know the functionality of the product. Any toothpaste, they want you to know that okay, it keeps your mouth fresh. It is a long-lasting effect that it has on you. And so use of nudity in their ads won't be impactful at all. And also if we use nudity, it does not relate well with the brand message as such. But if you go and look into the fashion brands, like for example Gucci, so they are going to sell you a dream. They are going to sell you a dream of fashionable clothing and good looking. So they want you to peripherally process it. Their nudity in that ads makes much more sense.
Yeah.